All right, hello everyone. Looks like I'm tuning in late for this Yate, Yobz and Los Pumas game. This is a SCC matchup, the South Coast Conference, or Sword Coast Conference rather, in the MML. I'm rewinding it back. They're already in turn 3, but since we're just tuning in now, I'm going to back it up so we get all this fresh action. And as a bonus, you don't have to wait while the coaches figure out what their next move are. And we're going to get to just see the actions, because we just about that action, boss. And so the ball kicks off, and a rock is thrown to start it off. And oh no! Baldrick Smutzer, the ladies' favorite, is stunned. Fortunately, the ball hit him in the head and not in his midsection, because there would be a lot of disappointed ladies. So we are playing at Los Pumas being home, but it looks like the Orcs are in full force in the stands. They got some fans, and Los Pumas didn't appreciate that. So one good stun deserves another. Rock is thrown to the ground by Wk3, who is the team's enforcer. And looks like we got a little pre-cage being over there formed on the side, and it does not help that the ogre Dag Destructive decides to go stupid at this time, or a bonehead at this time rather. And it looks like they're just gonna, the rest of the team's gonna say, hey, sorry buddy, you missed the bus, you're gonna have to pay the consequences. They're kind of leaving their ogre out there to get brutalized by some orcs. Wk3, a very, very gifted thrower. He's got a lot of natural throwing ability, and then he's also skilled in throwing. So this is what happens when talent meets hard work and skill. You get a player with this kind of advanced abilities. And here comes Yobz with the response, unable to do the damage they want to. They go in on Maximilian Fleisch, and in the meantime then, Gutfart, what a name. Gutfart, the troll, tries to take some action, and he goes really stupid. So we got a bonehead and a really stupid. The big guys just have no clue what the hell they're supposed to be doing out there. They're really confused. In the meantime, the orcs take a swipe at the ogre, Dag Destructive, and are unable to fell him. You're going to have the humans. Baldrick Smutzer is going to get up from the results of that rock. Mark this orc blitzer back there. And Wk3 is just going to come over and make sure the ogre is a little assisted by knocking down a troll over there. Ooh, nice little move over here by the humans. They kind of suckered the orcs in to all push to the right, turn around and kind of wall it off. But this does not go according to plan. Hoist does his job. The ogre does his job. Wk3 does his job. And you know who doesn't do his job? Lazy Smurf. And maybe that's why he gets his name. Because he lazily attempts to catch that ball. Doesn't really put his all into it, doesn't look it in all the way, and this is what happens. The ball's sitting on the ground. Now it's surrounded by a bunch of humans, and the orcs are going to have some trouble getting at it, but nonetheless, this is not how you want to start the game, and it's also going to give your adversary a chance to start swinging their defense back the way they need to go. Masterful coaching by Los Pumas, though. They have now put these orcs in a bad predicament. They definitely have two contingents on each side that can score or put themselves in a scoring threat either way. And Meinhof Volts is knocked out by Rock, who was the first guy that got hit by Wk3 to start the match. Another swipe at the ogre, but Dag Destructive is just indestructible right now. They are unable to fell him, and look at this. A little opening left, and that's all Wk3 needs to be dangerous. He knocks Morgny to the ground. And now you're going to have Lazy Smurf come over there again. This time, Lazy decides to put some effort into picking the ball. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Wk3. All right, that wasn't Lazy. So Wk3 almost trips up on the dodge, but Wk3 is not lazy. He's done his extra training this week on dodging. He did some of those drills with the ladders and, running back and forth on the field. And the footwork was on point. So he's able to get the ball over to Lazy, who finally decides, that he's learned his lesson. He's going to put a little effort into looking the ball into his hands all the way. And he lines up over there on the sidelines. Now, it's very, very important to know Lazy Smurf does not have the side step ability, so he can be pushed any way that they want him to be pushed. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, he's surfable right now. It just depends how badly the Orcs want to try to surf him. And it does not help that Dag Destructive is just tying everybody up over there. I mean, the only way that, I mean, it is possible. It depends how risky Yobz wants to play, but you might see Grubnak Breakhand try to make this 50% dodge with a reroll, which turns out to 75%, and put him in a position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Orcs don't want none of that dodging game. They're not into that. And instead, what they're going to do is they're going to stand Morgny up and just in time to get beat down again by Hoist Gracie. Hoist Gracie again holding it down over there. What a risky move by Los Pumas to put that catcher over there. I mean, had the Orcs decided to play it risky, they might have been able to get over there and surf him, and that would have been disastrous. But instead, now you got this catcher in touchdown range, easily in touchdown range. And Los Pumas are not a team that really likes to stall much. Los Pumas like to get in your face, continue to score. They just believe they can outgun you. Right now, the Orcs got to feel like they're playing an elf team that just won't break. Because the human armor is pretty good. Hoist Gracie unable to down Rock. And so the humans try to get their lumps in before they score. Rock is going to go in. And he's not Conor McGregor. I'm sorry, not Rock. Lazy Smurf. He's not Conor McGregor, but pretty damn good. He'll do it. Too bad he's lazy. He pretty much holds himself back. You know, it's a guy that's very talented, very, very fast as Conor was, I believe. I don't think Conor was a movement 10 guy. But he has the speed. He just kind of doesn't have the same work ethic as Conor, is what you got to think. And now we are back. The Yobz are setting up to receive. And as the ball is kicked off, Los Pumas, because of their immense fan base, are going to get, it's really going to motivate them during the game, and it'll be interesting to see how that manifests itself. Orcs going to start by getting violent over here. Badrick Eats Goals tries to send Hoist Gracie to the ground, and it's just the Orcs are just not causing the kind of damage that they want to cause. The human sideline and the Orc sideline pretty much clean. These uniforms look pretty clean. A little more patty cake going. And these kind of games are not advantageous to the Orcs. The Orcs excel when there's a lot of breaking of armor and such. And we have a successful block again. It's going to just send Detlef Hamlin to the ground. But nothing special. Detlef's going to get right back up the next turn. And unfortunately, it does not look like the Orcs have caused, unfortunately for the Orcs, it does not look like they have caused or created much of an opening for themselves. Ooh, risky with 3-die block from the troll. Risky because of that loner attribute. That makes the ability to use a reroll only 50%, and then after only burning burning a reroll. See Grubnesh Bruisehand move up next to Gutfart. Gutfart, a level 1 troll. I'm guessing that he has replaced the prior troll or something. Morost with a lot of skills for an orc thrower. He's got that leader skill. You see right there. Inspires his team and gives them another reroll. He's got the sure hands, which is important. He gets to reroll passes, and if you do manage to make your way past the flurry of teammates in front of him, he's got the ability to dump that ball off, and he's got nerves of steel, so you being in his face doesn't bother him, not to mention block. So this is a guy very hard to take the ball away from unless he wants you to. Why would he ever want you to? I don't know. I'm just saying unless. How will the humans respond? Dang, Destructive gets up. Detlef gets up. And you're going to see Hoist Gracie do what Hoist does. Knock Grack to the ground. But Grack will get back up next turn, so it's not the complete desired effect. Humans versus orcs is always a weird dynamic. It's definitely a bash fest. I feel like it favors the humans because of the mobility they have over the orcs and the complementary skills, but this can go either way. Of course, Los Pumas not starting out the season the way they normally do. They are one of the favored teams usually to make the playoffs every year, but this year started out pretty rough for them. Again, both of these teams belonging to the Sword Coast Conference in the MML. The MML contains 8 different conferences. I'm sorry, 16 different conferences. No. It's 4 of 4. 8 different conferences, sorry. 8 different conferences. And Sword Coast Conference is one of them. Both of these teams are in that conference. Los Pumas comes in with 2 losses. They started. This might be their worst season ever, starting out with 2 losses, and Yobz comes in with a loss and a tie. So the only team with a win in this conference is Rodentia Ad Nauseam, who has a win and a tie. So no perfect records in this conference, but there is one undefeated team still, and it's neither one of these two. So, but somebody will come out of here today, guaranteed, without a loss. At least one team will not get a loss today. That's what I can tell you for sure. And the humans just swarming the ball. They are swarming the cage. They're going to force these orcs to make some difficult rolls. And this is how Disco likes his Pumas to play. They don't let up. They don't column. They just become. They're very aggressive and they force you to make moves. And then when you do, and you have a bad die roll, all it takes is one bad die roll or one mistake due to time while you're trying to figure it out, and they just take full advantage of it. How will the orcs respond? And a hit from Gorfang Gougecalf. Again, no armor breaks. Both of these teams playing really tough. Baldric Smuts are going to be the recipient of a nasty hit from Flabop. So this pressure the humans are putting on the cage, the orcs are just perfectly comfortable with it. The only issue that the orcs may have is that they spend all this time blocking against the humans who have marked up their cage and then don't really get to move the cage very far, or they stretch their players too thin and then can't get the assistance they need. But it looks like they're just going to reform this cage up around poor Hoist Gracie. I say poor Hoist Gracie, how many times do you hear that? But he really is subject to a mighty blow coming from Badrick Eat Skulls right now. The Orcs are committed, though, to putting their cage here no matter what. So they move the ball carrier there before they even clear Gracie from the area. So they're just going to roll with the punches, literally. My concern for them lies in how they seal the back of this cage there. And I guess there you go. There's the answer to that question. Rock, the very agile blitzer, decides to get away from the two blockers on his back end. It's very smart. And Morost, the thrower, is going to go over there and get behind Morgany, the blitzer. I mean, when you're taking AV-10 on an orc, you're sending a message. This team is about bashing. And let's see if Hoist Gracie gets a generous dose of that right now. Ooh, they decide to go with Gut Fart first. Who goes stupid, which is just what an inopportune time for that to happen. Badrick Eat Skulls knocks back Gracie. And that's good enough for now, because the cage is reformed past the halfway line. The problem is there's only going to be 3 turns after this for the orcs to continue to get upfield, and these humans have the speed to get back on defense. Orcs are going to leave it as it is and let the humans try to continue to harass them. And poor Grubnash Bruisehand was left there with... He was there to support Gutfart, and Gutfart left him hanging in the wind. No pun intended. And you're going to have Meinhof Volts clear back Bruisehand, and that will free up the Ogre, Dag Destructive, and his buddy lineman over there, Detlef Hamlin. I feel like Detlef has been in the league for quite a while now, and he still hasn't leveled. I mean, he's just pretty much... He doesn't really have an interest in improving necessarily as a player. I'm not sure the team even wants him to. They're just using him as cannon fodder often, and sometimes that's enough. You're going to have Dag Destructive come over and lay down Gruback Breakhand, so that works out for the humans. Now they got a big tackle zone overshadowing the blitzer. Again, the orcs with only 3 turns left, and kind of they have chosen a wide zone, and the humans do have the speed to get back on D. So the orcs need to be careful to not get walled in over there and not be able to advance their cage. And the humans don't get too caught up on the bashing. They're going to come over, and again, the same strategy. Just mark the ball carrier. Mark the cage. Mark everybody. Force these people to make tough decisions. Very, very aggressive defense. Also very entertaining. Some coaches are not comfortable with this level of subjecting yourself to bad things happening. And when those Pumas tried this kind of strategy against their last orc opponents, the Green Tide Titans, or the Green Tide Tight Pants, as our favorite assistant coach Gasmal might call them, the strategy backfired because you're really subjecting yourself to a lot of hits. And this human armor is really good, but the orc armor is better. And over time, a continued bash fest with orcs is usually not going to result in a good result for you unless you're running a dwarf team or a team with claw. So humans sit their players back. They just need to slow this cage down a little bit because, I mean, we're not in critical area yet, right? It's just by the end of turn 7, Yobz needs to be sitting about 6 squares out from the end zone. So they need to be about here somewhere. If the ball carrier is here by turn 7, the Orcs have a really decent shot to score. And the humans, of course, I mean, they have 2 turns to get somewhere around here by the end of turn 7. And in the meantime, the humans are just doing everything they can to just slow them down, harass them. This is guerrilla warfare. And too bad I don't have one of my favorite guys to co-announce with, Gorilla Rez, to tell us about guerrilla warfare. But I'm sure he would be proud of Los Pumas. Nice blitz there, clearing a path, and the Orcs are going to advance. So it looks like the Orcs want to advance that cage and get there. Again, we told you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to be about here. I wish I had one of those Madden pens right now, but this will have to do. By the way, I see 2 people watching right now. If you can hear, I just want to make sure that this is working. Can you hear me in the chat? If you can, just type yes, please. Let me know. I get a little paranoid about that sometimes. And we just went from 2 to 9, so a bunch of people tuned in, or I don't know if I got late, whatever, however it's showing up on the Twitch. But yeah, you're tuning into a pretty exciting game here. I mean, and I will say this: anytime I announce a Pumas match, it's not that like avoid contact. It's not to play it safe. It's never boring because these guys they take chances. And they have confidence that over time that they put the other coach in under a lot of pressure. That coach is going to make mistakes, or right Dyerville is going to come along and let them capitalize on it. And there you go. Finally, that's all they were waiting for. They surrounded, they harassed what looked like a solid cage. All of a sudden, it gives way. Morgany unable to make the dodge he needs to make, and this is all Los Pumas need. I have a feeling you're going to see this ball going the other way very quickly. And let's see if we can see where their speed guys are. I mean, shoot, you got a speed guy right there's their. Hans Lamprecht is a speed catcher, so. And so is Lazy Smurf with the 9 movement. Yeah, this could. Oh, if they can clear him, I mean, shoot, if Lazy can clear Morost away. This is a human score on turn 8. I am betting. Lazy Smurf, not so lazy when it comes to punching. Morost is stunned. And we're going to see Hans Lamprecht go to work. Hans is such a cool name after the Die Hard movies. I always just think of Hans Gruber. And we're going to see Maximilian Fleisch move into position over here. There's going to be a blitz. Oh, to clear Patrick Eatskulls, the double skulls. Nuffle tries to say no, but the extra training came into effect. And Hoist Gracie unable to do what he's really good at is bashing. So we won't have and with the reroll burnt, Detlef won't be able to run over there and cause the hate and pick up the ball and throw it to Lamprecht. Lamprecht's going to have to do it himself. Or will we see Alaric Fredge make his way? Is that what he was clearing it for? Yeah, that's what he said. Alaric Fredge going to go over there, dodge, pick up the ball. Here comes the pass. complete. Goodbye, Hans Lamprecht. He's going for a run. Ooh, this is risky to leave your catcher there and make that block first with your reroll for the round already burnt. But discodavo is playing exciting ball here, and he's not worried about what's safe to do. And now you're going to see, in the words of Fat Joe, Hans Lamprecht goes all the way up. He's only 3 spaces out, or 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I need to learn the count. 4 spaces out. It's 8 yards out, and every orc that can get to him is pretty much on the ground. I mean, Gouge Calf would have to really move mountains and make some unlikely dice throws to get over there, but it's looking like we're going to go into the second half 2-0. That left Hamlin tries to get up in the action and hit Grack, but not much of an effect. Again, if you guys are in the chat, if you can hear me, just please confirm my mic is working. I would hate to think that I've been sitting here talking to myself the whole time. Okay, cool. Robo Whale, let me know in our Discord chat for MML that you guys can hear me. That's good. We got a lot of games going on. I heard like pretty soon, I think Leaping Lizards game, the Leaping Lizards match versus the Thugs of Weldrake is going live real soon, and I heard there's a Power Hour game going on as well. But definitely this one is very exciting. Rand, you messing with me, man. That's just wrong. And let's see, the orcs just trying to figure out what are they gonna do. Are they gonna? So they're not done. They realize they don't want this game to be over yet. So they're gonna have. Ooh, this is risky as hell. So he pushes his way. No, it's not risky. I thought there were 2 guys here that were facing him. Somehow he got away. So Gorfang's gonna put a tackle zone on Lamprecht. I mean, Lamprecht doesn't have plus agility, so it's 267% rolls. The chance of failure is not likely, but it is a possibility. It's a reasonable possibility. So we've seen stranger things happen, but unfortunately for Yobz, if the humans go up 2-0, it's early into this game, and Detlef again just being doing what Detlef does. He's cannon fodder. He's just not a player that has shown a lot of interest in becoming a star. He's perfectly okay with acting as the team punching bag and absorbing some of the hits, and he does a good job at it. I mean, he's not hurt. He just gets a little knocked out. He gets back up. Look at that. Now there's 2 tackle zones with tackle from Rock. Now the Pumas have a reroll sitting in their bank, so this is still the chances of being able to dodge out of there for Hans are pretty high, I would say. But still, I mean, that probably doesn't feel comfortable having these 2 orcs breathing down your neck. Putting the tackle piece on Hans Lamprecht also kind of ensures that Los Pumas aren't going to try to milk the extra hits in on the rest of the orcs before they go charging into the end zone, because it would really suck for them if they take a couple of those hits thinking I'm just going to try to inflict attrition on armor 9 orcs, and then they have to burn a reroll doing that, and then they try to dodge a 67% and it doesn't go through. So I find it very unlikely. I think what you're just going to see is Lamprecht run over there and try to dodge out. I really doubt you'll see a block first. Lazy Smurf comes over, and they're just, I think the humans are just you are going to see a block. Humans are going YOLO, and it works out for them. The tackle piece is down. And I guess that's where the rerolls may be worth it, because then you get with the tackle piece down, you got the built-in reroll on the block on the dodge by Hans Lamprecht, and now the humans can engage in some good old-fashioned orc bashing. Some may consider this very risky play. If you're a team that's interested in the attrition and getting those extra hits in, I see Davo's just being greedy at this point, which is okay. Could potentially work out for him, but again, on AV9, what are the realistic chances of causing the injury before you trot into the end zone? There's the dodge out. Lamprecht is gonna celebrate. He does a little showboating. Lamprecht dodges out, holds the ball back in the direction of the Orcs, like, come and get this. Dinner is served. Trots into the end zone and celebrates. And there's some cheerleader butts on the scene to help us all celebrate. And you're gonna have Hamlin get back up, shakes it off. He's a tough dude. He's knocked out for a little bit, but what's a little unconsciousness, right? I'm sure his brain will be all right in 5 years. Turn 8, and because this orc team does have a goblin, so I do believe actually that they had a goblin before the appearance of Iggy Max. So Nebeb, who is a level 3 guy, you will probably see him come onto the field if these orcs want to try for the one-turner. Then goblin throw for a one-turner. Kind of sucks with no reroll, but why not? Yeah, just Stevie. Shake those butts, cheerleaders. And both of these teams not starting out with the best of records. Again, Yate Yobz with 1 loss and 1 tie, and Los Pumas, it might be their first 0-2 start ever. I don't know. They've been in the league for quite a while, though, since Season 2, I believe. But I don't know if anybody knows that off the top of their head. But is this their first 0-2 start ever? But now it's not looking very likely it's going to be 0-3. It's looking very much like it's going to be 1-0-2. That's 1 win, 0 draws, 2 losses. It's interesting. So the orcs decide not to go for the one turn with the goblin throw, and they're just gonna kick butt. That's this disappointing. The blitz comes into play. Are the humans going to run anybody downfield and take a swing, or are they just gonna keep their guys out of harm's way? They decide not to take advantage of the blitz. Yeah, just Stevie said, yeah, they're finding the season there are some real surprises and results. I agree with that. It's been a crazy season, so we shall see how it turns out. And the Orcs are just going to choose to maximize hits. Yeah, I agree, Stevie. I think that the skill of all the coaches has definitely increased. The longer you stay in this league, the more... Oh, and Detlef Hamlin, again, I said it, he's kind of shouldered that load as the team's punching bag, and it catches up with him for this game. It's not going to be a permanent injury, but, it puts him out for the match. I can't imagine that discodavo is going to use the apothecary to keep him in the match, unless he is just, unless the theory is let's keep the attrition to a minimum at all costs. Nope, apothecary does not come out. And the first guy to go in the kill box is Detlef Hamlin. The downside of losing him, you may think that's just an unskilled lineman, but again, when you don't have somebody to just shoulder hits like that, then you end up having to put more high value players on the line of scrimmage. And after this mauling that the Orcs are handing out, they're going to get to do it again. The humans are going to have to put 3 fresh guys on the line of scrimmage. So the more humans that come off the pitch, the more hard decisions Davo has to make. Like, do I put one of the catchers on the line of scrimmage? Or do I subject Wk3 to a nasty, mighty blow? A little chain pushing there. Coming from Badrock Eat Skulls. And a little SPP farming there. Morast is going to throw the ball to Rock for a completion. And that's probably going to take us, unless the Orcs decide to foul, it's going to take us into the half. I personally am not a huge fan of the turn 8 foul, only being because even if you successfully get it off, and then you manage to act, so even if you manage to successfully get it and you don't get your guy thrown out, 50% chance it's just a stun, and the Orcs agree with that. Like, it's not worth it. This ogre has not been the big threat. Now that philosophy might have changed had that been one of the catchers, or had that been Wk3 laying on the ground. You might have seen a different story. So attrition definitely favoring the Orcs right now. I mean, it's only one player. It's 11 Orcs and 10 for the humans. But the Orcs do have the Goblin in reserve. Yeah, Stevie's pointing out definitely everybody. I mean, you're even seeing, Tiger Shark used to join. He's the guy that stands out most to me this season. He used to joke rather about. Yeah, I agree. Tiger used to joke last year about wanting to set records for most losses and the whole nine. And it seems like man, the Grandiose Gladiators have a fire lit under their ass this season. And they tied the Wrecking Crew. I think they won their other match, or they tied that one. And against very highly regarded opponents. And so you're seeing everybody kind of fighting a lot harder. I also feel like the more time you spend in the company of these good coaches, the better you get. You just get better. But yeah, you're right, Stevie. Like, there's serious stakes now. I mean, it's not just, in the past, you fall behind in the standings and you figure, I'm not going to make the playoffs. I'm not going to make a bowl game. I'm just going to start saving all my money, and I'm not going to worry about replacing players. And who cares what my record is like this year, because I'm just going to gear up for next year. I'm not going to really play defense hard. I'm not going to really try to win games so much as preserve my players and maybe hurt the players of the opponents that I may be facing next year. But if you do that this year, you may not be around next year with relegation coming in. The MML recently finally relenting to the constant requests by coaches, incoming coaches, as well as even a lot of the guys in the league who said they wanted a system that basically would put the lowest teams at risk and give the people in the CL. Well, it wasn't to give the lowest players a risk, or the lowest ranked teams a risk, rather. They wanted to put a system that allowed a clearer path for those in the Challenge League to make their way into the pros. And so now we have opened up a system where if a coach drops out mid-season, we recently had 2 coaches drop out mid-season, we take the top teams in the CL at the time current from those divisions, and we do a lottery, the top 4 rather, from the division that the guy dropped out. And so if it was like a Western division coach, in order to keep the time differences easy for scheduling purposes, we take the top 4 from, if it was an East, we take an East guy from the Challenge League from the top 4, and then we pull a lottery. And in the case where at the end of the season, the last 2 teams, the bottom 2 teams per regular standings rankings, those last 2 guys get replaced with the team that wins the CL championship and the other finalist. So now coming in last, this race to the bottom that was a joke last year is now like it's a real threat. You know, you don't want to be the last place and second to last place team in the pros. Because you're going to have to go to the CL and you may never, like Stevie said, you may never make it back. The Orcs doing some rearranging, ready to receive this ball. Now, this I find to be very risky. I see what they're doing. They're trying to concentrate their power. They're trying to keep everybody together. The ball kicks here, and what they did was they exposed all of this wide zone area for the defense to just, you know, if there was a blitz, then this is playing. I mean, don't ever. Let me give you guys some advice if you're watching. Don't ever set up like this against Los Pumas. Don't do it. A blitz, you're dead. That's it. So all these fast players right here will swarm like freaking rats. They'll cut off your path to the ball. They'll blitz the guy closest to it, and then they'll put all their people as fast as possible. Humans have the speed to get there. Don't do that. It is, I mean, I know it makes you feel comfortable. You got everybody on the line here. Your force is concentrated. And you're like, well, none of my players, my goblin's safe. Nobody's going to get rocked or isolated. But the problem is you have now given yourself an opportunity. You know, a blitz kills you. Yeah, and so Stevie's saying it doesn't look like the Orcs will be able to cage. I mean, if they can clear these players out, they will be able. They'll have a nice, neat cage there, and I think that's what Yobz was going for. They're like, we want to maximize our hits. We want to get everybody up in the same place. So if this kind of stuff happens with the big blue arrows, we get multiple hits on these guys. And I do see the value of it, but you also got to worry about what's the contingency plan. What happens if there's a blitz? You really have to worry about those kickoff events. If you have, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the kickoff events, I mean, a good resource, and you know, it's not really self-promotion because this is more of a, it's a general franchise. It's the generally belonging to the league rather, but MML Pro Talk, our podcast that we have. A few episodes ago, there was an episode where me and Don Eagle did a whole review of the kickoff events, what they mean, what the likelihood of them happening is, and how they can devastate you. And that's one of the things we recommended is don't do this. Now it could be that the Orcs have just said, screw it, we're down 2-0 going into the first half, into the second half, and we just don't care anymore. If he's gonna, you know, if he gets a blitz, whatever. We're about protecting our players and we want to win the bash game. It's all, you know, they could have, in the words of the MML's Godfather, Preach, you know, they could have just decided they're going for kill box win and they don't give a crap about this this score mumbo jumbo anymore. But oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Stevie. I'm glad we were able to help out, provide some things to think about. I mean, of course, we're not any kind of you know, authorities or whatever, or any more so better coaches than anybody else. But you know, just something that we did a lot of research on for that show, and so hopefully it's just something to think about. Now, you'll still see Dag Destructive, who has been kind of a real pain in the butt. For, you know, against the Orcs. I mean, the Orcs have just had trouble like putting him down, handling him, and it's like he's not causing devastation, but he's a nuisance. He's always locked up on somebody. He's not easily not locked down. They got to worry about him. He's slowing down their cage, and there he is still in contact. So now they're going to wait as the last move, which is smart, and you're going to see Troll on Ogre action. And again, just Dag is just... he is a pain in the butt. He just won't go away. He gets pushed back. He beats his chest. He laughs at the troll. He's trolling the troll. He's pissing the Orcs off. I wonder how much of their forces they're going to concentrate on taking him off the pitch, because he's probably he's making Gut Fart mad. Gut Fart is just such a heinous name. It's just, I don't know. It's something about Gut Fart. It's just thinking about what a gut fart smells like. It's probably not good. It's probably really disgusting. And just, I imagine that that's how gut fart actually smells. And the nuisance makes himself not so much of a nuisance anymore. Dag Destructive becomes Dag Invisible, and he may as well not be there. He just starts looking around. He knows he's supposed to be doing something. Wait, what's going on around him? Look at all of the grass. Oh, look at the clouds in the sky. Why are all these green guys standing around me looking at me? This is so weird. This is the problem with ogres. This is the problem with most big guys. That's why, personally, I prefer the wild animal big guys rather than the stupid big guys or the bonehead big guys. I'd rather have a Minotaur, just go wild and still retain his tackle zone, start chasing his own tail in the same spot, than, go totally stupid and then not even take a bite at something that runs right past him. And so at this point, if you're Los Pumas, this is the cool thing as somebody who likes to follow Los Pumas, right? And these are, if you don't know, Los Pumas already passed MML champ 2 championships ago. So last year's champs, the White Owls, took the crown back from them, or not back from them, but it took the crown from Los Pumas, or Los Pumas passed it on rather to them or whatever. I mean, they didn't. I don't know. I don't remember how far they made it. Los Pumas did, but in any case, the past MML champs are exciting to watch. Definitely exciting. They do this. I mean, 2-0. There's a slow-moving orc team. This game is probably out of reach unless something crazy happens. But not necessarily, right? I mean, there could be a goblin throw and a quick score. You never know. But the Pumas aren't going to sit back in column defense and just try to like, yeah. Sturmjarl in the chat. What's up, Sturms? He's saying Pumas looking good, not racing the relegation. Yeah, they're looking good for this game. So despite an 0-2 start, it looks like they'll be 1-0-2. But a lot of people might just sit their team back and say, I don't want to bash it up with the Orcs. If they want to end up making this 2-1 and slowly grind downfield, I'll just column defense on them and give them a hit here, a hit there. I mean, nah, not the chance. They're like, no, we want this ball back again. We're hungry. We want to take this is a little smirky goblin sitting in there with the ball. That bothers me. It bothers my pride. I'm going to smash that goblin, take the ball, and run in their end zone and start celebrating. That's the attitude I'm seeing here from Los Pumas. But we'll see. We'll see why is Nibeb smug. And will he go airborne? That's what we recently had a goblin throw win the game for the Grunts this past weekend, and we will see if Yobz subscribes to that too. I was disappointed I did not see a one-turn attempt with a goblin throw in turn 8, and so to me that's a flag. It doesn't show confidence in their goblin throwing game. But it would be interesting to see if they want to try to stretch the field by doing that. That'll be something unexpected. And here comes the boom. Badrick eats goals. Oh, taking a swing at the catcher Lamprecht. Unable to fell him at first with a 3-die block, but the extra training he put in this week for smashing catches pays off. And Eats Goals is going to rock Hans Lamprecht, but not hard enough because Lamprecht's going to get right back up the next time. Hans dies hard. Ooh, a little handoff from the Goblin there. And you're going to probably see Rock run. Oh, look at this. They got the Orcs trying to create a little screen over here. I mean, I get it. You're running out of time and you got to start making things happen. So you're going to see this is a bona fide potato. This is not a cage. I don't even think they're going to be able to create a great screen here. They'll create a decent screen. Not bad. We'll see. Right now I'm viewing this as a potato, but it's quickly having the makings of a screen. And the Orcs are marking up humans, and I don't think the humans were expecting this kind of offensive behavior from the Orcs. Sturmjaw calling for a GFI, but feeling like the Orcs don't think they need it. And Grubnash Bruisehand tries to go for the GFI on cue and shows you why it's probably a good idea that the man with the ball, the Orc with the ball, decided not to. Rock content where he is. And that's all they really need. And Bruzehand last year was tied for the South Coast Conference or Sword Coast Conference serial killer award. I mean, he wasn't even really in the. He had one kill, so you can't even call him a serial killer. He had one kill last year. It's the top mark at that point in the conference. And Hoist Gracie showing why this was a bad idea for the Orcs, or trying to show him that way. Loosening the ball. Does he want to take the chance to get a little closer to it? I mean, at the very least, what he has done is prevented the Orc touchdown in turn 10, or turn 11. Which means that even if the Orcs score in turn 12, they're only going to have 4 turns to get that ball back and run downfield, which for Orcs is already, I mean, that's really probably the maximum of how much you want to leave yourself. Maybe 3 turns you could do it in, but the more time it ticks away, the more time that is left on the clock to, the more time that is burned for the Orcs to get their first touchdown, the less chance you're going to see of tying this up. Sturb was applauding the GFI. To say it's the effort that counts, right? And Lampert is going to get up, and he's going to put a tackle zone over that ball. And just basically make it generally hard for these Orcs to get done what they want to get done. But there is Flablop knocked out. A little jumping Superman punch. Flablop's going to be knocked out. And, I will say there is a little bit of a difference in the play of Los Pumas now. Because I think that maybe we may have seen a little more aggressive marking up or whatever, but why not just put yourself in why put yourself in harm's way rather than just be a nuisance? And so this time Los Pumas try to free somebody up to run over there. That was Alaric Frege, who's their thrower. That's the guy that you probably want handling the ball at first, at least anyway. Unable to stretch the field the way he wanted to. His reach exceeds his grasp, or his grasp exceeds his reach, however that goes. I don't remember. And you see the Orcs try to get it going again. This is playing risky. Very risky right now. If they start with gut fart. Especially unskilled show. Good. So they bring Gouge Calf over. And just in case something goes wrong, Gouge Calf's going to mark up Hoist Gracie. Morgany runs over. And there's Gutfart, rather. Gutfart trying to make a name for himself. And he's not going to be able to fell that catcher. Hans Lamprecht is just going to get pushed back. Yobz put so much extra training in this week on the blocking drills with Gutfart. But honestly, Gutfart's kind of a loner sometimes. And no matter how much they try to get him to pay attention, this kind of stuff happens. Lamprecht uses his skills to sidestep into the ball. And honestly, I mean, I really don't think it was worth burning that loner reroll for that particular reason. So Nuffle says no on the dodge away. That ball is now, that ball is easily grabbable. Well, not easily, but reasonably. Reasonably within the reach of the humans. And the first guy to go was Nibeb. Like Goblin's tenure on the field is short-lived. And it looks like the S-130 is thinking about trying to save. Nope. So he decides no. And there must have been an inducement and traveling apothecary. Because I thought that Apothecary was already used to keep that Goblin in. Although I may be just confusing. I've announced so many games lately that they're starting to blend together. So, continuing on. Meinhof Volts takes a swing at Morgany to push him back. He says, get back, you don't know me like that. And Morgany's now caught in between two humans. You're going to see Dag destructive. Not so destructive, but he does back up the Black Orc. Eat skulls. And one die block. Gorfang on Hoist. And Hoist Gracie is an immovable force for the moment. And it's funny, Yobz has that thrower with all those skills built to pick up the ball and hold on to it and then let it go when he needs to. But yet Grok seems to be the guy they really like to carry the ball with, probably because of that speed. But yeah, Grok had 174 rushing yards last season. Not by any means at the top of the SCC even, but still respectable. And of course, the Pumas' leading rusher last year was their star Conor McGregor, who caught a pretty bad injury in the final and retired from, or was let go by the team. I try to sparingly use the term retired. It was true retirement is when it's on the player's terms. Getting let go by your team is a different story. So. But definitely a respectable career for Connor. Unfortunately, it ended early. And Lamprecht goes. And Hans Lamprecht was probably, he was the next highest rusher on Los Pumas with 192 rushing yards. Again, respectable, nowhere near the league. Actually, an MML record set by Gorbag Marlar of the Green Tide Titans at 456 rushing yards. But still respectable. And you're going to see Hoist knocked back. Again, the time is just ticking. These Orcs need to get this ball and move. And you may see a potato, unfortunately, for the Orcs. Because there is... It's unfortunate because there's a very mobile Strength 5 guy with tackle waiting around to take a swat at the ball carrier. But, you got to do what you got to do. I think S130 South, the coach of Yate Yobz, knows this. And... He's just going for it, YOLO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is definitely 4, 5 rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is definitely within means. So even if Hoist manages to put his body in front of this young Orc right here, Rock can just dodge out backwards, go back in, and he's got more than enough movement to get there. And Eat Skulls is gonna give it to Bertolf Wolf. It does. It's looking more and more like it's Hoist on his own, though. Risky to start with the Ogre, but again, I don't think most Pumas care that much because they're up 2-1, and it's the chances of the Orcs taking the ball away from them in 3 turns and scoring again is pretty low. So even if the Orcs score in turn 13, but I am very, very confident that we're going to see Gracie drop back, come back in here, and take a swing at our ball carrier. About as sure as you can be of that. Unless he does not make the dodge, then it's going to be a different story. And he does loosen the ball, and Alaric is able to get to it with his agility 5. You may be seeing the score turn into 3-0. And look at this, the humans already, I mean, how confident is this, right? They're setting up their path. They're worried, most people will be just trying to stop the Orc touchdown. Those Pumas are positioning their guys so that once they loosen this ball with Gracie, and once Alaric Fresh jumps in there and grabs it, he's going to be able to easily pass it to Meinhof and then send Meinhof running down that other opposite wide zone and make it 3-0. And here comes the dodge at first, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. The longest pause in the world. Here comes Gracie, and this time the extra training kicks in and does the trick, and look at that. So this is a blessing and a curse. A human has recovered the ball. It's Bertov Wolf. However, that human is in the tackle zone of Gorfang Gougecraft, the Black Orc, the Strength 5 Black Orc. And that does not look promising for what's going to happen to him next turn. You can try to mark him up all you want. And that's a 2-die block coming at your dude. But again, free the ball up. Ooh, see, look at that. Human saying, when we get away with this ball, we're going to get it to Lazy Smurf, and he's going to take it for a touchdown. You'll free the ball up here, and you might get a guy to recover it and hold it, but you're probably not getting a touchdown in turn 13, which means that you'll score in turn 14, and then you'll only have 2 turns to kick the ball off, get it back, and score again, which for an Orc team is, that's really, really, really difficult. And now you've got the Goblin? No, the Goblin's just knocked out. The Goblin comes back. I mean, I guess you have a shot at doing something crazy. But there you go. They need to make that block, so they burn the reroll. And Bertov's going to hit the deck. And the ball is going to jump out into the open. So now this is a predicament. You don't have guys with a lot of decent agility laying around to grab that. Do you really want to trust a Black Orc to dodge away from an Ogre and then pick up that ball? Probably not. So my guess is that you'll see Grok making his way back over there, which will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you'll be right here. Again, within scoring range, but guess who also gets his chance to dodge over there and put another hit on you? Yes, Hoist Gracie. So it is not ideal. Oh! So, I mean, it's kind of one of those blitzes where you're like, try to see if it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. But of course, the Ogre goes really stupid again, and this time Grok comes over, picks it up okay. And, yeah, I mean, if they're lucky, they'll score turn 14. What's more likely to happen, though, is that ball's going to go flying again in the beginning of next turn. And the humans are in a position to score thanks to that. So how do Los Pumas respond? Ooh. Gonna have Dag Destructive come over out of tackle zone that way. And it's Black Orc pushing time. You don't even need a dodge out now for the blitz. I kind of do. Enough for, Yeah, Fleisch ain't doing it by himself, I don't think. don't think you want the one die block. So, curious. So Los Pumas not that concerned with dodging free. Gracie gonna lay out the super punch on Rock. We may be seeing a one die block. I guess not. No. It's gonna be a two die block. Larry Fredge dodging away. And here comes the boom! Unable to finish the job. Maximilian Fleisch only will be able to push Grok back. Curious he pushes him that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so what needs to happen here if the Orcs want to score in turn 14 is you're going to have Gorfang push back this Wolf guy. Preferably, he would knock him down. In fact, might want to think about pushing Volts instead, because I don't think he has anybody to blitz. I guess he can blitz this guy away. So yeah, push here. You start out with maybe Eat Skulls knocking down Bartov Wolf, and then you follow up with the other Black Orc Gouge Calf, knocking not Bolts. First, yeah, Wolf, and then Bolts goes next. The humans exceeding their the stride that they normally can get. Smutzer basically stuns himself, trying to run too fast, trips over his own feet. And he's seeing stars. I think there's one path to the end zone right now. You got to score quick if you're the Orcs. You can't be messing around. I mean, you can take some more hits if you want. Take some more swipes at people. You can go over there. You're not going to reach that catcher. You put a body on Rain Advar. It's a strength 4 guy who I'm sure your strength 3 blitzer doesn't appreciate being locked onto by himself. Yep, there you go. So I'm going to put an assist over there, although braving the one die block would not be smart. And you're going to see, okay, Gouge Calf's going to hit Wolf down, creating a space. But that right now, even with agility, this is only an agility 3 guy, so that's a 50% dodge into the one tackle zone. You need to follow with a blitz from Skulls, from Eat Skulls. And they decide to go that way. Okay, I see why. I'm going to push him back. So this is not an initial dodge, but it will be. He's going to run into this tackle zone, dodge out, and go right into the end zone. Yep. I can get down with that. Maybe activate your troll first before you go and do that, in case something crazy happens. Put your troll on Hoist Gracie, maybe. But I wouldn't play around with anything else. And there you go. For the score. You're going to see Grok spike the ball. The humans did not make this easy. He's proud of himself. He's beating his chest. And he's going to trot back over the sideline. The Orcs are going to huddle up over on the sideline real quick before they huddle up on the field. And they're going to talk to their coach and try to figure out a game plan. And you have the knocked out players mostly coming back except the Goblin. And that is a big blow for the Orcs because the Goblin really is the secret weapon. The Goblin is underrated because of the throwing ability of this troll with the Goblin. This combo is like, what they call that when Wolverine used to get thrown by Colossus, the fastball special. And a fastball special could be useful. I mean, you can use that throw. If you manage to recover the ball, you throw the Goblin, and the Goblin could go for it. Could go for the end zone. A lot of times teams have to protect against that if both players are on the field. They can also be used as a way, like a cage breaker, right? You can launch a Goblin into a cage on top of the ball carrier, loosening the ball, giving yourself an opening. But no goblin means we're back to standard orc capabilities, and it's tough. I mean, the good thing though is, again, so they like to use Grok as a ball carrier because of his speed, but at this point you got to use him as a receiver, right? You throw the thrower back, you line the thrower up. I mean, you keep, what I'm saying is you use Grok at a place, you put him 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You keep him at least here on the 12-yard line. And then you make sure that wherever the ball is, you keep that thrower in the vicinity. So if you manage to jar it loose, Grok gets the ball and goes for the score. So whatever, if you're the orc team, what you need to do right away on turn 15 when it's your turn, you need to get Grok in that position. Your other options, you have Rock as well. And he's got 1, 2, 3. You're leaving him here, so he needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. And then maybe a GFI to 7, which would put you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, away from the end zone. So, I mean, you can do 2 GFIs so you don't risk the reroll right now. This turn, 1, 2, 3. So you can send him here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even with that, once you hit the end zone, you have 2 threats for getting to the end zone if you can get them the ball. And you do have the thrower to do it. This game is not over yet. But I feel like it's going to take something extraordinary. Yeah. It's going to take something extraordinary to get that touchdown and tie it up. And I just don't think this Pumas team is giving that up. And we'll see Rain, rather. Hoist has been getting all the attention, and Rain is just like, you know what, I'm going to break some armor. I'm going to take this Grok dude down because, you know, he's just bothering me. And that's the thing, is if that's the guy you want, if that's your scoring threat, those Pumas know that. They know that that's the biggest scoring threat right now. So putting him on the line, maybe not a good idea, and that's why the Pumas saw that, and they said, well, no way in hell I'm going to let that guy just hang around and possibly run and get in scoring range. Nah. So I guess now that he's off the chart, everybody knows the last hope for this team to tie it up is Rock. Get him downfield. I mean, it's the only guy who could even get into range if he wanted to, I think. If you send one of these movement 6 blitzers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can GFI them to 4, and yeah, even then they still ain't making it. S-130, you have nothing to be ashamed about. Continue to fight all the way. The only thing I would have liked to have seen is the Goblin throw in turn 8. And not just because it's fun. I mean, it would have been your chance of one turn. But, I mean, definitely it's not like you just let up and didn't play anymore. This was still, you guys are going at it hard. And it's only now that the times or the chokehold is really running on your team. Again, still a thrower out there, and while this guy Rock's not the fastest, do you see? And those Pumas just kind of possibly left an opening. Either that, they're going to burn their last reroll, but that could hurt. And they decide not to. So again, now they need the Orcs need to get they need to get in range to score, and if they don't have that by the time turn 15 ends, the game is over because there is no Goblin on the field to throw. So Rock needs to get down this field, and he needs to GFI to get in a position to score. I mean, that's the first thing, even before you're thinking about freeing up the ball or whatever, because if there is not a dude at the end of turn 15 downfield to receive this ball and get in the end zone, game over. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that would put you in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even without GFIs, you can get Rock in place. And I think that needs to happen before any chances are taken to free up the ball. So and Sturm is in the chat saying he just checked in on shots. His game came back and it's been a pretty good fight. I don't think he was expecting to see this coming back. But what's going on with the Power Hour game? If you don't mind filling us in. It sounds like it's getting out of hand over there. Now, this is as I was asking that question, I saw Rock run over here, and this is puzzling. This move I don't like. Yeah, I don't like Rock come. I mean, this was your scorer. This was the guy that you needed to get in scoring position. Although, I mean, yeah, it's tough because getting to the ball stays back here, getting to the ball, or you need somebody else to get to the ball. But then run the dude diagonally across, do something like that. Blitz, don't use your blitz over there. Who cares if he scores again? You want to make sure you win. This is the actions of a coach who has already conceded the match in his head and does not want to get embarrassed with a 3-1 loss. And you know what? Screw embarrassment. Play to win. PT dub. How is it out of hand over there? The Power Hour game started much later than this game. Oh, okay. Dead down too many men. So who's died? Am I remembering correctly? Are they playing? They're not playing the Titans this week, right? They're playing. Who are they playing this week? I'm curious. A bunch of games going on. Lizards versus Thugs. And the other thing is, if you don't want to get embarrassed 3-1, right? Like, I'll give you another hint here. You know, your veteran coaches know that anything can happen on the last play. I mean, this game is famous. This RNG is famous for that. You know, it's crazy plays can happen on the last play. So if you've got a dude that's hanging around over here, he's a scoring threat. Your veteran coach, oh, they're playing the Walking Dead Reanimated. Wow. Okay, so that should be an awesome game. But if you've got a veteran coach like Disco is, and this dude is hanging around, if you had like Rock hanging around over here as a scoring threat, he has to worry about that, and he's going to focus on that before he focuses on trying to score. So he'll do something like burn his blitz to get that done. But by not even having the scoring threat, now Disco can take the shot at your end zone consequence free. He doesn't have to make any hard choices. And Maximilian Fleisch, yep, see, you can use the blitz to do that. Free up a catcher. Break armor on Flablop. What kind of name is Flablop? That just sounds... Yeah, exactly. Always move a player in the scoring range. And you know, Shots is famous for... That is his #1 piece of advice to any coach. Turn 15, the first thing you do before you roll any dice, put somebody in scoring range. Because the dice can go bad and then you're done. Game over. And it's funny because, I mean, that catcher's in range right now to score, but he doesn't even need to be. There's a handoff coming, and you're gonna see. We're gonna see Smutzer go for the long pass, or is he gonna potato and wait? Nah, he's gonna. He ain't playing around. Pumas want to score. I want to see this too. This is ballsy. But again, he can do this with consequence free. He can do this with no worries because there are no receivers back for the Orcs, and Smutzer shows that he's not just good at slinging stuff from his midsection. He uses his first 2 arms to complete passes as well, if you know what I'm saying. So Smutzer with the completed pass. It's not a Larry Fredge, it's Smutzer. And Pumas 3-1. And now the Goblin wants to wake up. I want to see the one turn. Let's go, Orcs. I want to see this end up 3-2. I want to see the Goblin throw for the one turn touchdown score. And this time the humans know It's probably a goblin throw coming. They're going to set their guys back. I don't know if they just maybe they're just keeping their guys back because they don't want to get bashed up. It's also risky to throw a goblin. A goblin could easily die. So maybe that's not what you want to do. I don't know, but I know I would like to see it as a fan watching this game. Just judging on the way the bashing has been going for the orcs and the way the human armor's been holding up, you're not going to see any big injuries from these line hits. I mean, definitely maximize them if that's what you're going to do. Game's out of hand, so there's no real reason to throw. Yeah, the smart money is, just get your hits in and call it a day. There's no reason to subject your goblin to the potential, to getting hurt and all that stuff. But it is entertaining, so we'll see. Right now, S130 is probably trying to decide. He's like, do I go for the score or do I just get my hits in? Either decision is respectable. And with lining the goblin up back there, it does not look like S130 is going to go to the goblin throw. He's just going to finish strong by bashing some humans. And a rock coming from the audience. So this time the human fans just did not forget. The game opened up with an orc fan throwing a rock at the head of Baldric Smutzer. And those human fans have been remembering that the whole game. And just when the orcs were letting up, they're worried about who's winning the game. They're thinking, we're going to get our last hits and get out of here. The human fans turn around and pelt somebody with a rock and knock them out. That's funny. Gorefang Gouge Calf gets rocked. Now the orcs are not happy. That may have just pissed them off, but you know what? The human armor holding up pretty well. Meinhof Volts goes down. But it looks like Dag Destructive is about to be the next contestant on The Injuries Right. Nice. Sturmjarl. Tomorrow's Morningstar versus Rattlings. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm planning on calling it. If you don't have announcers yet, I'll sign up for that. And so Dag Destructive just knocked back, man. I mean, he's just been, like I said, he hasn't really been like a shining star as far as causing injuries or anything like that. But he's been a key player and just like being that like what the Wood Elves use the Tree Man for, man. Just like the constant nuisance, just tying people up and then not wanting to go down and beating his chest and laughing at them and just generally demoralizing the team. And there's a 3-die block on Baldric Smutzer. Been pretty key player, man, with that that pass for the after that sweet pass and taking a rock to the head and then getting back in the match. He's the recipient of a nasty set of stars circling around his head. He's gonna go down. And Blitz, looks like Blitz has not been used, and that's where the troll comes in. Gut fart. Oh, just failing to seal the deal. It's got to be frustrating, man. This ogre is just a pain in the nuts, man, for this orc team. It's causing all. He's been trolling the troll. That's what I'm gonna say. Dag Destructive trolling the troll. Gut fart looks really frustrated and bothered by this whole situation. And yeah. Yate Yobz unable to even successfully farm a pass with two players standing right next to each other. This has not been a good match for Yobz. And it's not bad play by the coach. Generally, it was solid play, except for some kind of. I can understand the coach saying, yeah, those are low probability chances. I'm not even gonna bother. But you miss. You miss every single shot you don't take. You get what I'm saying? You're never gonna have that glory moment where that epic comeback if you don't try. So that's the only thing I can say on the coaching side that S130 South may have done quote unquote wrong. But It's just this is the player execution on the side of Los Pumas has just been it's really hard to overcome. So it's going to finish 3-1. Los Pumas. Look at the armor breaks. Again, these teams are going at it hard, but the armor held up pretty well for both sides. It's normally what you see between humans and orcs. Nothing spectacular in the way of stats. It's nothing crazy. Blocks. There were a lot of blocks thrown. Not a lot of armor breaks. 3 KOs inflicted by the orcs, 2 by the humans, 1 injury by the orcs, and it was just like a badly hurt, so nothing permanent. And Los Pumas with their first victory of the year. Who would have thought it would have taken them until week 3? But definitely, I will say this is a different team. Some of my other announcers will they'll disagree with this, but I think this is a different team without Conor McGregor. Yeah, they got another movement 9 receiver. It's just it's not the same guy. It's they're missing an element, and I think they're still coming back and finding themselves. And I think maybe even missing his pal may be affecting Hoist Gracie's play or whatever. But this is a good step in the right direction. And just two hiccups in the beginning of the year, but this team could legitimately finish out winning every other game in the rest of their season. And then finish 6-2, right? 6 wins, 2 losses, and if they do that, that's a good shot for the playoffs. So season's not a wrap for this team. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, if I think these games are still going on. Sturmjaw said the Bill Cowher Power Hour game against the Walking Dead Reanimated has gotten out of hand. I'd also remind you the Leaping Lizards are going on at Harry Warthog's Twitch. The Leaping Lizards are playing against the Thugs of Weldrake. I think the Leaping Lizards are home, and you can find that at Harry_Warthog. That's Twitch, twitch.tv/Harry. Harry as in you're hairy, you need to shave. Oh, okay. Harry said it's over. He's tuning in. All right, so that one's over. 1-1. So, that's final score. Okay, 1-1. Nice. So it looks like our teams last year that, were like the underdog. Did you really? Are you kidding me? No, Harry, you're messing with me. You killed Wade? Get out of here. I think he's messing with me. Wade is not dead. Oh, Don would be losing his mind if that's true. Okay, yeah, apples. Yeah, wait. People, attempts have been made on Wade's life so many times, man. That guy's he's hard to kill like John McClane, man. He's hard to kill like Steven Seagal. He dies hard like John McClane. So I guess since that game's over, I'm thinking the Power Hour Walking Dead Reanimated is the only game left on. And it looks like More Shots is twitching that one, so you could go to twitch.tv/more_shots. And it looks like Harry minus AG. He got minus AV though. That's a big problem, man. Minus AV on a that sounds like a brutal game. 1-1 against the Leaping Lizards. It's a big deal, Harry. Congratulations, man. You've seen some of our guys who suffered through some hard times last season, really stepping up and having some big results coming in as underdogs. So again, this is like Stevie said earlier. This is a very awesome season in that it really shows the parity in the league, man. Don't sleep on anybody. We got a lot of good coaches in the MML, and that first guy that you think that this guy doesn't have a shot, I'm considering this like my bye week. You start thinking like that guy's gonna jump up and surprise you. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna cut over to More Shots' chat, Twitch, see if that game is still on. Again, that's twitch.tv/more_shots. This has been Serious Jest, and you are watching the MML. Check us out, MMLpro.com. Check us out. Backstories on these teams. Find out how to join this league, and we'll see you. Thanks.